Hi, this is Jared Polak, founder of Entree Results. Looking forward to another very good, very helpful, very beneficial podcast today. We're going to look at making crazy good promises to increase business. Now, what does that mean? What I'm talking about here are brand promises. Something that very few businesses do, and even fewer do extremely well. Let me give you an example of some different brand promises. A brand promise could be something as simple as we deliver our product on time or ahead of schedule every single time. That could be a brand promise. We are promising that we're going to deliver this in a specific amount of time, and we're either going to do it or we're not going to do it. Another example could be promising to donate a certain percentage of the sales to a specific charity. That could be a brand promise. There are a lot of different brand promises out there, but here are 3 different things to think about in regards to making your brand promise. Number 1 is you want this to be better than your competition, or make it difficult for your competition to be able to do the same thing. And so if your brand promise is easy to do, if it's the same as the competition, or could easily be repeated by the competition, it most likely isn't a great brand promise. The second thing about a brand promise to really understand is that you have to deliver it every single time. Listen, this is not we're going to give our best promise and try our best to keep it. It is we will keep whatever we have promised. We will do it every single time. And if we don't do it, we're going to make such a huge deal about not doing this to our company that it is going to be a huge, huge deal. So if we do make a mistake, it's going to be a once in a blue moon type thing. It's not something that's going to happen consistently. Because if you break your promise, your brand promise, just like you break any promise, it could destroy your brand. It could really hurt your company. The third thing to think about is that brand promises, unlike core values, they can change over time. Meaning core values very rarely change. Once you have your core values, they're pretty with you for a while. Brand promises can change. So for example, when FedEx said, I will guarantee overnight delivery, when they made that brand promise, it changed everything. It was a wonderful brand promise, better than their competition. No one could do that. However, over time, the competition caught up. And so, not saying they changed their brand promise, but that brand promise is no longer powerful because every single other person in that industry guarantees the same thing for the most part. So what they have to do is come up with a new brand promise or some new brand promises. So this is something that may change over time, or you may keep the original brand promise but just also make sort of a better, newer brand promise as your company improves. Now here's the key to everything. This is what nobody does, or very few people do well, I should say, is track. Create key performance indicators for your brand. So for example, if you promise to deliver your product on or ahead of schedule every single time, you have to have some type of tracking, something that will measure whether you do this or not. And you need to measure it every single time. Not only the promise, but also the tracking. That is the key. When done correctly, this makes a huge impact on the business. Go out, carve some time, think about your brand, think about how you're going to measure it, come up with it, and then market it like crazy and make it happen.